Hello, my name is Woolford. I run the We Care Food Bank, Advice Centre and Law Centre here in New Cross Road, Deptford, which is an organisation set up by the community activist People Before Profit. The food bank was launched here a year and a half ago after we found people on their way to work going through the bins dressed in suits. And I said, why the hell are people going through the bins? And when I asked, I was told that, well, these days they had their benefits cut and it was 5 weeks until they get their first paycheck, which meant that was 5 weeks when they needed their money to pay for transport to get to work. They had no money for food. So we set up the food bank, had 28 families a year and a half ago. Today we now are just passing the 1,100 client mark. And that's a combination of the 800,000 people that have been sanctioned. Many of those people have been sanctioned for not even having a letter, responding to a letter that they've never received. It's people that have moved from a 4-bedroom property or a 2-bedroom into a 1-bedroom to escape the bedroom tax, that then have to submit a new claim because their circumstances have changed. And huge numbers of pensioners who, because of fuel poverty, are finding that every penny they make and every penny they get in goes on paying the gas, paying the electricity. It's not like the old days where you could throw coal or wood chips on the fire. These days you're forced to use the national grid. We then have huge numbers of single young people who live in bedsits, and all of their money is going on high rents and transport costs, and tighter attack on people's incomes, whether it's low pay, high rents or food prices. Today at the food bank we find it's now cheaper to buy a loaf of bread at 47p than it is to buy a Swede, which costs you £3. Of course, people that use food banks have terrible health issues. It undermines their mental health. And what is quite shaming about food banks is that most of the people that use food banks have worked every day of their lives for all sorts of circumstances. Could be redundancy, could be poor health, could be family breakdown or domestic violence, end up needing a food bank. They don't need to be stigmatised as the government chooses to do at the moment. There's lots of things we can do. We don't see ourselves as an extension of the welfare programme. People Before Profit see ourselves as a way of shaming the government into action on eradicating poverty, not actually allowing it to be acceptable, because the reality of poverty these days is that poverty is the AIDS of the 90s and this century. People are too embarrassed to tell their friends, their family, their neighbours, their own children that they don't have any food to feed themselves. And that actually is quite shocking that we are in that state. The reality is that your mum, your dad, your best mate, your sister, somebody you care about, could be giving you a slice of toast tomorrow and a cup of tea. But behind that facade is a cupboard that's empty and a family that are off the grid, are too poor to pay gas or electricity because the standing charge of £20, £30 a month is £20, £30 a month they don't have.